What's going on, my people? I'm Champion Yogi, and here's a yoga transition for you. I am in Yoga University. This is my hot yoga class, my 7:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings. They should be here in about 30 minutes, but I started thinking about something we're about to do in class today, and I wanted to give you guys a quick transitional breakdown. So let's do it. We are talking about Warrior 3 to High Lunge today. It's a very common transition when we're dealing with a vinyasa yoga practice. So if it's one that you do all the time, let's talk about it. Let's make sure that you're getting the best and the most out of all of your practices and make sure you're understanding your options to go through your transitions. We're going to break down both poses. We're going to talk about the alignment of Warrior 3, then talk about the alignment of High Lunge, and then we're going to start talking about the options during the transitions going from one to the other. First, let's start with Warrior 3. Right here on your mat, you're going to step your front foot forward. Both feet, remember, you always want to practice on both sides, but we're just working with the one side today. So step the front foot forward, the back foot can be back a little bit. You want to first begin to come and shift your weight into the front heel. Remember, your toes are for your balance, just like your fingers and your arm balances. Your heel is for your strength. This is what's lifting you up. So you want to keep those toes nice and spread out, nice and wide down onto your mat to balance, to support your balance a little better. Once your weight is into your heel of your foot, you're going to lift this back leg as high as your hips. It can be a little lower. That's cool if that's your space, but you want to try to bring it up to the hips. This is the goal that you're going for. Pull your toes towards your nose to flex that foot. Keep this hip down. The hands can come to the heart, out wide, over the head, anywhere you like. The shoulders are going to be just as high as the hips, and you want to keep your gaze down towards the mat. Lengthen through this leg nice and long, keeping the weight stacked into the heel and using those toes for your balance. That's your Warrior 3. You can always bend into the knee a little bit to support your hamstring stretch right there. And you can always lower that back foot down. If you need to lower your hands down to your mat to support your balance, this is also cool. Still lifting this back leg nice and high, pushing the back of the heel away from the top of the head is still the goal. It doesn't matter where the hands are. If you need to support yourself, bring in your blocks and allow them to let the earth come a little closer for you. Okay, so that's your Warrior 3. Let's talk about your High Lunge. When you're High Lunge, you're going to take 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Now in High Lunge, you really want to focus on your balance, right? Because this is a little bit of a balance pose. Even though both feet are down, there's still a balance element that comes into this. If you're finding your balance is being a little challenged, maybe start to separate the feet, taking the left foot to the left side, the right foot to the right side, and keeping the hips right down the center, okay? Now press the knee forward and stack the knee over the ankle. Doesn't matter how deep you go to your comfortable depth. If you want to go deeper, slide the back foot back and let the hips sink down towards the earth. Try not to press the knee over the ankle. That takes away the stretch from the hips. It's safe. You will see it during our transition today. But you want to keep the knee over the ankle so the hips get the intention of the stretch, continue to sink down. If your hips are having too much down this deep, rise up a little higher, even shift back a little to make it a little more comfortable when you rise up a little higher. Bring the knee behind the ankle. It's still a good space. It still allows the hip to get most of the stretch here, okay? Your hands can come to your heart all the way in the head. The deeper you come into it, the more you lengthen through that back leg as well. Biceps behind the ears if the hands are over the head. This is your High Lunge. Now in High Lunge, you're pressing that back heel away from you. You're trying to pull those shoulders back and stack them over the hips, having that long spine deep into those hips, quad muscle engagement, all of your options are there. Let's transition. First, we're going to go from High Lunge to Warrior 3. Then we're going to go from Warrior 3 back to High Lunge. They're not necessarily the same transitions. They're different things that needs to happen with your body. So let's talk about it. First, we're going to start in that High Lunge position. High Lunge, again, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, toes and heels equally apart, right? And then at this space, you have your hips down the center of the mat, and you're going to sink into that High Lunge. Now, once you sink into your High Lunge, going into this Warrior 3, the first thing you want to do is use that back foot. Press your weight forward. You're starting to extend through that back leg and press your weight into this front heel. Remember, the heel is where your strength is, so that's what we're going for to lift up. Once you press your weight into this front heel, you start to lean your body weight forward just a little bit. Now, at this point, it's up to you. If you want a little bit more support, you'll bring your hands down to the earth. Your blocks, either way, is good. As your weight shifts into this heel, press into this heel so your hips start to rise up. You can untuck that toe and keep that toe down as long as you need to shift your weight into this heel and find your balance into this leg. Let the back leg start to rise up whenever you're ready. pull the toes towards your nose. Again, option to lift the shoulders a little higher up to the hips to start to play around with the hands if you want, or staying right here on the blocks. This is your Warrior 3 transition as you shift into it. So remember, you're trying to press your weight into that front heel, press through the heel and lift. If you're looking for a little more challenge, try not to let this back foot drag at all. Come straight from that high lunge with the biceps behind the ears, shift the weight into that heel, float that back leg up, and start to find that line right at the hip height. Press through the heel, extend, and find that long space. If you're looking for a little support, use your blocks, bring your hands down, and shift your weight forward. Either way, you're getting the same benefits out of it. Okay? Now, let's go back. Warrior 3 to the high lunge. Now, typically, when you lower your back foot down from that Warrior 3, your knee will be very much in front of your ankle, again, taking away the engagement from the hips. So we want to slide the body back. You can do that during the transition, or you can do that with your hands down and then slide everything back down onto the mat, giving yourself that support that you may need. So it's up to you how you like to do it. We're starting the Warrior 3. Here we are, nice and balanced, holding our space. Maybe you start to bend into the knee. That's usually the first space to come into this. Now, again, you could bring the hands down right now if you would like to, or if you want to go through it a more challenging way, keep the hands up. But once you bend into the knee, acknowledge the fact that your body has shifted forward into your toes. So you want to start to bring the weight back into the heel again right here. Now, once the weight is back into the heel, you can start to let that back foot come down, continue to shift back and lightly lower your back foot down into the mat, sink into your space. Remember, separate your feet wide enough so you have that balance, and then find your high lunge from that position. Again, if you would like to, you can also bend into this knee and then let your hands come down and your back foot come down. And once that's down, start to slide that back foot back, find your comfortable space, find your good alignment, and then sink into your high lunge. Once you're in your good alignment, just press into this front foot, lift the chest back up, hands to the heart or over the head, whichever one you like. Find the depth that feels good to your Warrior 3. Find the depth that feels good to your high lunge. Adjust and slide into it the best way that feels good to your body, and continue to challenge yourself. As you slide through that back foot, you allow yourself to say, today you slid the back foot almost halfway before you lifted it up. And your goal now maybe is to just shift and slide not as far before you lift up, right? So you continue to strengthen yourself through your practice that way, trying to remove the slide from your practice, or you continue to slide for the rest of your life and enjoy your yoga practice on the level that it is on, in the space that you are in, finding the journey that fits for your body. It is up to you how you flow through your practice. It is up to you whether you want to strengthen your practice or you feel like your practice is strong where it is and it suits you for your needs. It's always up to you. So make the good choice for you. If you would like to practice with me anymore, if you want to go in through with me, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, and you can reach out to me at championyogi@squarespace.com. I am Champion Yogi. I want to work with you. So reach out to me. Let's talk. Let's chat. If there's any other things that you're interested in finding a tutorial for, leave me a note in the comments and I will work on the content for you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here for me. I'm about to get started. My students are starting to walk towards the door right now. You guys have a good day. I leave you with light, love, and peace.